pretty fast at West Ham United. There's lots of information that's coming out there. Transfers, obviously the transfer window opened yesterday, as I record this on Tuesday the 16th of June. So things will be moving apace there. Another thing that's symbiotically linked with that is the imminent arrival of reputed to be Steve Nickson from Newcastle United. There's a video that I've done with Charlie about that. Go and have a look. But the other one I want to get stuck into, and again, this is something that's really something that's been, I've been quite keen for the club to deal with of the last God knows how many years, to be fair, is the training ground. Now, yesterday there was a lot of information that came out about movements to get the training ground up to scratch, which it's been nowhere near fit for what was then a Premier League club and is now a Championship club in West Ham United. And there was some information, as I say, that I put out on the channel to say about surveyors that were going to the ground today. Now, as I understand, I've got a little bit more information on that. That's been given a little bit more clarity as far as that's concerned. Now, as I understand it, the surveyors are going to Rush Green today. Now, the story that I've been told is it kind of links with Nuno being kept on at the club. By all accounts, when Kretinsky had a conversation with Nuno to say that he wanted him to stay, one of the bones of contention that Nuno pushed back against at Kretinsky was to say that there were certain things at the training ground that he needed, and the training ground was not equipped to house, if you will. So Kretinsky's gone away, and it would appear that he's listened to what Nuno's had to say and has implemented some changes. Now, there's also some information that's come to me to say that we're looking at a site, and I believe it's Basildon. There's actually two sites that apparently are being looked at. One is in Basildon, and one, I'm not quite clear where the second site is. Apparently it's somewhere nearby to Basildon, but I believe it's not Basildon in and of itself. Now, a lot of the reason why, like I say, this work is being done at Rush Green comes off of the fact that Kretinsky and Nuno had a conversation, and Nuno made certain noise about what he wants. Kretinsky's gone and started implementing it. Now, for me, again, I take that as a positive. I take that as absolutely not a problem at all. The modular buildings that they're looking to sort of go in to house whatever equipment it is that Nuno would like the club to invest in. And they are an investment because obviously they're there to make the players fitter, stronger, technically more proficient. So I'm all for that. But as I say, there is still the possibility that there may, because don't forget, I guess that if we can redevelop Rush Green and get it up to scratch, fine, no problem. But I guess it depends upon how much can you do there. And if we need to extend, I guess the land prices in London are going to be quite pricey. So I guess you can probably get more bang for your buck. So maybe, just maybe, if we end up getting a training ground in, say, Basildon or somewhere in that vicinity, then I guess that it from a cost basis, it would probably make sense, in all honesty. But the other thing also that the surveyors, from what I understand, are going in is that site didn't have, as I understand it, a proper sewage system. Now, when they went and connected, the toilets, from what I understand, were Saniflow toilets. Now, when they've then gone and in the last however many years they've then connected showers and all sorts of other bits and pieces, they reckon that, from what I understand, that the sewage system that's there is inadequate, and this results in a lot of things like floods and all sorts of things like that to sort of crop up from time to time. So this is another thing that is looking to be improved upon. And again, you just sort of sit there and go, this was until recently a Premier League club, and this was what you was dealing with. We was having all sorts of floods because the sewage system was insufficient for the needs. You just sort of sit there and you go, what was Gold, Sullivan and Brady doing for the last 16 years? Now, I appreciate that, okay, we didn't have Rush Green as our training facility for the entirety of that, but we've had it for probably about 10 years now. It's never really been up to scratch from day one. And here we are in the year 2026, and now there's talk that there's all sorts of things that are moving in different directions. So, yeah, I mean, look, so the news is, like I say, the surveyors are going in, yes. The modular buildings are going in, yes. Is it necessarily going to be that we're going to stay at Rush Green? Not necessarily, from what I understand. They're making improvements at Rush Green, and that's a big thumbs up. But whether Rush Green will be our long-term training base, as I understand it, we're looking to build a proper complex, and I'm not entirely convinced that we will have the scope within what we've got at Rush Green to be able to do it, which is why I think that this thing about Basildon probably makes sense. But if in the meantime there are certain improvements that are going to be put in place to allow Nuno to have a proper sort of facility, because obviously let's not forget Nuno has been around the block. He will have been at clubs in his career, different training facilities. He will know what's adequate and what is wholly inadequate. He's clearly looked at all the bits and pieces at Rush Green over the last however many months he's been with the club and just said this isn't up to scratch. When Daniel Kretinsky has gone to him to have that conversation about Nuno, we want to keep you, mate. He's obviously seen an opportunity there to leverage that to say, well, look, this is something that needs to happen. If you want me to stay here, then this training ground that we've got needs to be sharpened up, and I need this. And it would appear that Kretinsky's gone, no problem, mate, and he's gone off. And like I say, fair play to Kretinsky. He's not sort of made a promise. I mean, if this was David Sullivan, he'd have probably turned around and said, yeah, don't worry, I'll kit it out with what you want, and then probably would have sort of employed the local plasterer, the local decorator to sort of kit it all out on the cheap with nicked materials from Del Boy or something like that. So whereas Kretinsky, it would appear he's actually going out, he's making proper investment in getting some modular buildings in at Rush Green, which will house a lot of the equipment, a lot of the technology that Nuno, I mean, I don't exactly know what it is that Nuno's asked for. All I've been told is that the modular buildings are going in to house whatever it is that Nuno has said to Daniel Kretinsky, you need to kit us out with this because this is what's going to keep us moving in the right direction. The thing that's really, really weird is that it's almost like we haven't been relegated. I don't know about you, but I'm sort of sitting here going, well, we've got the chairman out, Sullivan, we've got Brady out, and now we've got a director of football coming in, it looks like. We've got movement of the trade. And I sit here and I go, my God, this looks nothing like any of the relegations that I've experienced before, where there's a big hangover, there's a malaise over the club. There's all the West Ham fans I know are marching along with a spring in their step. It's almost like we won the league. It's absolutely incredible. It's surreal, absolutely surreal. It doesn't feel right, but I'm absolutely not complaining. I'm buzzing. A lot of these movements, like I dare say we're going to see the transfer window obviously opening yesterday. We're now going to start to see some of the rumours that maybe we've been linked with this player, that player in the last couple of weeks. Now we're going to start to see what's actually real and what's a little bit of smoke and mirrors. We're going to see the colour of Daniel Kretinsky's fibre. We're going to see him reaching for the chequebook. And I dare say there'll be players that we leave. Obviously, we're suspecting that players like Mateus Fernandes and Crescencio Somerville, although obviously he scored for the Netherlands a couple of days ago, as I recalled this, so maybe that's put a couple of million on his price tag. But I've got a funny feeling we're going to see a bit of movement. There'll be some players that maybe will be talked into staying, as I understand it. All of the players have been spoken to directly by Kretinsky to make it clear that he wants them to stay. We're going to make a tilt getting up at the first time of asking. That's fantastic ambition and is a great messaging from the man at the top to the people that are going to go out there on the Saturday and try and sort of bring home 3 points on a match day. So I'm really pleased. I'm really happy. And as I say, the training ground has long been something that me personally, I've been quite keen for us to get sorted out because it's a glaring kink in our armour, a glaring problem that for years just seems to have been patched up and sort of dealt with. And like I say, it looks like we're moving in the right direction. There's improvements being made at Rush Green. There's scope that we might improve and expand upon that site. But there's also talk that maybe Basildon and another site that I'm led to understand is somewhere near Basildon, maybe not Basildon itself, somewhere just as I don't know, maybe Chelmsford, Billericay, Rayleigh. I don't know. I'm speculating on that. But as I say, I know one of them's Basildon. Somewhere in that sort of A13 corridor is where I suspect. And as I say, it kind of makes sense because obviously the land in Essex compared to the land in Greater London, you'd probably say you're going to get more bang for your buck in the Essex corridor. But let me know what you think. Get your comments in the section below. Don't forget, if you're new around here, to click subscribe, hit the bell notification. drop a like on the stream, give us hype if you've got any available, and also consider sharing this onto your social media platforms, and we'll see you again soon. Come on, you Irons.